Welcome everyone to our Recycling in San Jose webinar series brought to you by the Recycle Right team at the San Jose Environmental Services Department. This webinar we're going to be talking about how to recycle right and what goes where in San Jose. Before we dive in, here's an overview of the things we will be covering. We will learn about why it's important to recycle correctly, the main items that are recyclable, how to avoid contaminating your recycling, commonly misplaced or confusing items, and what to do when you don't know what goes where. First, why recycling is important. If we recycle items incorrectly or place wrong items in the bin, it can cause all sorts of problems in the recycling process. These problems prevent a lot of otherwise good recyclables from being recycled in the end. By recycling right, it benefits public health and ensuring all these items are recycled and made into new products. Recycling also cuts down on a lot of waste, saves energy, reduces greenhouse gas emissions, preserves natural resources, and creates a lot of green jobs. By recycling right, you're contributing to all of these important benefits. No wonder when you recycle, it just feels good. If you want to know more details about these benefits, watch our Why Recycle webinar. The first step to understanding how to recycle is knowing what is recyclable. The first major group of recyclables are metals. Think of items like aluminum and tin cans. Metals such as aluminum are some of the most recycled materials, which is great for the environment. Did you know when you place a can in your recycling, it can be recycled and back on the store shelf in as little as 60 days? Next are different kinds of plastic containers. Now, not all plastics are recyclable. Even if an item has a recycling symbol and a number on it, it does not necessarily make it recyclable. For example, number 6 plastic can take several forms. Styrofoam is a number 6, but is not accepted for recycling in San Jose, while other rigid forms of number 6 are recyclable. Another example are plastic bags, which are number 2 and not accepted for recycling in San Jose, whereas milk jugs are number 2 as well, but are recyclable. So remember, just because it's plastic and has a number on it, it does not mean it's recyclable. But most importantly, whether it's a tin can, a plastic takeout container, or a milk jug, be sure to empty or scrape out any food or liquids before recycling. Next is paper and cardboard, which again needs to be dry, clean, and free of any food or liquids. Also, before you recycle cardboard boxes, remember to remove any other packaging such as hair pillows, plastic film, or foam from the box. All those common items that come in your box when you get a package need to be removed. Then, break down and flatten the box before tossing it into your recycling bin. This is very important if you live in a multifamily apartment or home and have the big square bins. If you don't flatten boxes, it can take up valuable room for other recyclables. Shredded paper is also acceptable. Just remember to place it in a clear plastic bag and tie it tight. Did you know that the average American uses 7 trees worth of cardboard, paper, and other wood products a year? This is why it's super important to keep those in the recycling stream and circulating back into new products. Before we go over some tips, we also need to clarify which bins and carts are for what. If you live in a single-family home, the black cart is for garbage and the gray cart is for recycling. If you live in a multifamily apartment, a townhome, or a condo, you may have shared bins. The green is for garbage and the white is for recycling. But you may also have a blue cart, which is for recycling as well. Here are some very important tips to remember when trying to recycle right. First and foremost, no food and liquid. Food and liquid not only soils the item, making it unrecyclable, but can soil other items in the recycling bin as well. So what can we do to prevent that? As mentioned, we can prevent contamination by emptying and scraping containers before we toss them into the recycling. If there's a substantial amount of food still on the item, or the item is stained with grease, that item belongs in the trash. In order to meet China's national sword standards, a bale recycling needs to be 99.5% clean. It doesn't take much food and liquid soiled materials to be over that threshold. If you want to learn more about the recycling standards, watch the What Happens to Your Recycling in San Jose webinar. Just to name a few commonly misplaced items, we have snack bags, things that tangle like garden hoses, food-contaminated items, and other thin types of plastics like saran wrap. For items like snack bags and saran wrap, these items largely go back to the point that all plastics are not recyclable. Also, some of the items like snack bags are several kinds of materials. For example, the shiny inside of a snack bag is a thin layer of aluminum. So what you have is plastic on the outside and aluminum on the inside. And once those materials are bonded together, they can't be separated for recycling. Therefore, garbage. This goes for a lot of other things, like garden hoses. Just because they are made of different materials that are recyclable individually, they can't be realistically separated and recycled. Also, items like garden hoses pose another challenge. This goes for cords, ropes, string lights, and others. These are what we call tanglers, meaning they get wrapped up and tangled in the recycling machinery. This causes the machinery to stop and poses a serious risk for our workers. And as mentioned before, food and liquid soil items like greasy pizza boxes belong in the garbage. I know it's hard to throw away because it's cardboard, but that grease makes it unrecyclable. But if you want to recycle part of it, you can tear off the top if it's free of grease and put that in the recycling. So, with all these confusing items out there, how can we know what goes where? Well, when in doubt, find out at sanjoserecycles.org. You can do this through the website or even by asking your smartphone or device. All you have to do is ask, what does sanjoserecycles.org say about, and then the item you're asking about. For example, those garden hoses. Just ask, what does sanjoserecycles.org say about garden hoses? Click on your result, and it'll tell you what to do. There are over 300 searchable items on sanjoserecycles.org. To help show you how easy it is to know what goes where, we'll show you. So, you just go to sanjoserecycles.org, and right up at the top of the website, there's a search bar. So you can type in the item you're looking for in that search bar, click on it, and then it'll tell you how to dispose of that item properly. It's that easy. So remember, when in doubt, find out at sanjoserecycles.org. Now that you know more about how to recycle right, you may be motivated to learn even more. Here are some resources, videos, and activities. Just pause the webinar and visit the sites if you'd like to learn more. Thank you everyone for tuning into this webinar. I hope you are able to learn how to recycle right in San Jose. By joining us, you're taking a great step at helping San Jose recycle right and keeping SJ clean.